Even from a great distance, it's obvious that this finger of land in East Kent in England is not an island. From aerial photography, it clearly isn't an island. Looking at maps, it absolutely definitely isn't an island. This is not an island. Welcome to the Isle of Thanet in Kent. Just as Covent Garden isn't a garden, and ever since the animals stopped performing in Piccadilly Circus, their names have remained the picturesque ones we continue to know them by today. Thanet was indeed once an island, and for longer than it hasn't been. For over 5,000 years, this fragment of England was once separated from the mainland by the Wantsum Channel, a broad 2 miles wide, if not very deep, waterway from the English Channel to the North Sea. It was densely populated during the Stone Age. The Romans liked it enough to build twice on its banks, a fort at Reculver and a fortified town at Richborough, the latter known as Gateway to Britannia. The Vikings used it as a base for raids further afield, the earliest local example of the holiday season. By the Middle Ages, a combination of erosion, shifting shingle around Stonor, and land reclamation by Augustinian monks led to the Wantsum slowly silting up. This left the rich port of Sandwich high and dry, encapsulating it as the medieval heritage town it is today. This also reduced the Wantsum to little more than an irrigation ditch. During the 1953 floods, Thanet was briefly an island again, the casualties limited to sheep. Following that, a new seawall was built between Minnis Bay and Reculver. But why do the residents of this isle choose to use a name half a millennium out of date? From the local paper to joiners, clubs, associations and motoring schools, the prefix Isle of adorns aplenty, a magical agrandissement, just in case you've forgotten where you really were. When it's worn with a geographic pride, an island pride, with a sense of tradition, like the difference between a serif and sans serif font. Things change slowly, not least in England. Our strong sense of nostalgia, often for largely fictional better times, changes even slower. So a name from the past has a power and romance beyond its words. Isle of Thanet sounds like a kingdom, more than district, as the local council uses, ever could. Could it be an acceptance that, given our long history, 500 years isn't very long? Best not to rush into anything after all. Wait and see if we really need to. Or do we recognise the transient nature of the Wantsum? It will repeatedly flood until true island status returns in the not-too-distant future. For a lot of islanders, that'd be just fine.